So 11 months ago, if you were to ask me what I thought 2021 was going to be like, I'd have painted a very different picture than what I see now. And maybe it's like that every year, but as I sat down to write the final newsletter here in the Four Corners, the stories I recalled, it made it real clear that the year was filled with a lot of blessings, but also a lot of losses, some challenges, lots of celebrations, and it feels a little extraordinary than previous years. But in the midst of it all, I really feel an enormous sense of gratitude and pride for our Four Corners team. And I want to tell that story a little bit here in this Christmas celebration. I heard a story a while back about a Navy SEAL commander, and he was asked what produces the deepest bonds of brotherhood and camaraderie in his high-performing teams. The commander thought for a minute and said, when people routinely suffer together and laugh together, that's what builds the greatest sense of camaraderie in his teams. And you know, I've never found a better answer than that. And I really can't think of a year in recent memory where our Four Corners group has collectively experienced those two realities, suffering and laughing and joy. So I want to talk a little about those two dynamics, suffering. It's no secret our little family up here has suffered some painful losses this year. At least 2 of us lost a father. 3 of us lost grandfathers. We've seen kids go to the hospital, brothers go to hospital, sisters go to the hospital, and some even were at death's door. Our team experienced literally broken necks, extended sicknesses, and financial setbacks. And in the midst of it all, COVID and the vaccines once again plunged everybody into a lot of uncertainty. Vacations were cut short or canceled, and the hope we had of some recovery, I think all of us had this feeling that 2021 surely was going to be better than 2020. In the midst of all the chaos, I think we lost that and we saw what it was. And really, if we're going to continue to go forward in optimism, we have to acknowledge the pain and the suffering that we experience. And so that was part of our year. However, what stands out to me is the bond between our team that deepened because of the hard things that we experienced this year. When emergencies pulled us out of the office and the people around us stood up and filled in the gap, and we helped each other out. When my dad personally suddenly passed away back in July, I had no fewer than a dozen of our folks up here in the Four Corners reach out, offering prayers, ways they could help, ways to help carry my load while I was out of the office dealing with that tragedy. It seemed that Sherry had the florist on speed dial this year, and we always did what we could to help ease the pain and let our people know they weren't alone. Because that's what family does. But there were also a tremendous amount of celebrations. We had a lot to celebrate. There were weddings to go to, there were baby showers, birthdays. Every project we closed was very successful. Our clients couldn't say enough good things about Jaynes. We helped make Bill Flores' last year one of his best, and we cheered him on as he started his next adventure. And we exceeded our profit plan. Once again, we established ourselves as the premier builder in the Four Corners. We offered our time, money, and leadership in so many ways in our communities. We supported our hospitals, homeless shelters, and art venues. We coached sports and sponsored school PTOs and conservancies. We served at churches and on the boards of nonprofits. And we honored the tradesmen who put so much energy building our projects. Every job, every single one of our jobs up here took time to pause and thank our subcontractors. Jeff Johnson and Gerald Platero were honored with Employee of the Month. We celebrated that. We had one of our great project managers who moved away several years ago. He moved back to Durango. We celebrated that. Our reputation continued to expand into Mexico, Colorado, and even Arizona. Companies seemed to come out of the woodwork asking if we would partner with them on upcoming projects. We made it a point to celebrate each other at breakfast meetings and barbecues. And what came through even louder than the suffering and the pain we experienced was all the smiles and laughter that was heard coming from our offices and our job sites and wherever we decided to gather. To hold on to and practice joy in the midst of all of 2021 was worth everything. Looking back, I'm real proud of the buildings that we completed in 2021. All the things we accomplished was very amazing. But more than that, through the painful situations and the joyful celebrations, I'm far prouder of how we grew together as individuals and as a team. In all the ways that are most meaningful to us as humans, we were successful. We're focused on the right things and we're growing in the right direction, and that makes me incredibly proud. That ancient wisdom that we've read so many times, that suffering produces grit, grit produces character, and character produces hope, was definitely true. My hope for 2022 and beyond is incredibly high, and I can't wait to see what's next. So from us up here in the Four Corners to everybody down in Albuquerque and Las Cruces and beyond, have a very happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year.
Putting champion?
Any words of advice?
Just go out there and give it 110%.
That's right.
He's just reading the little plot.
See, man, right?